Hi guys, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Debbie Ikburi, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to make Nigerian meat pie in your own kitchen. It's not that hard, it's not that difficult. Even though it's your first time, trust me, you can actually make meat pie from your kitchen. So let's go. So for your meat pie filling, you need minced meat, carrots, Irish potato, any pepper of your choice. This is actually optional. You need onion, you need a little bit of flour, you need your seasoning, pepper, salt, curry, and your Maggi. That's all you need for your seasoning. Like I said, your bell peppers are actually optional, but I like to have enough veggies in my filling, so I add bell peppers. It's actually optional. So what you want to do is you want to dice everything you're using for your filling. You are dicing. So you want to dice your carrots, dice your Irish potato, dice your peppers. You're basically dicing everything that you're using. This is me just dicing up everything. I had to just go in details to show you everything so that you can follow the process. So I'm dicing up my Irish potato. Just watch to the very end as I'll be showing you how to use everything I'm dicing up right now. Like I said, even though you have never made meat pie before, you can actually just watch these videos and learn, because that's how I got to learn and started making meat pie for my family. So guys, it's simple. So let's start with, so here we have everything we are using, like I already explained to you. So let's go into the making process. Obviously you have your pot, you have your fire, you have your, put your oil in your pot, let it get hot, add your onions, just your normal cooking process. Allow your onion to be a little bit done, then you add your minced meat. Add your minced meat, watch it until it turns brown. It's just your normal cooking process now, your normal cooking number 6. That's what I used to make meat pie. Like honestly, I don't do measurements. I use my cooking number 6. Like they say, our African ancestors, until your ancestors tell you that it's okay. So basically that's what I used to make my meat pie though. I don't follow any measurement. I go according to my ancestors. Yeah, so basically you're adding your seasoning. The seasoning that will be enough for what you're making, right? So so you're just going to cook your minced meat until it's brown. Then once it's brown, you add a little water. Of course, water that will be enough. Now you're gauging it according to a cook that you are. You put a little water, allow it to boil, then open your pot. Once you see that the water is boiling, now you add your Irish potato. You're going to leave your Irish potato inside to boil until it gets soft. You're going to come to see when your Irish potato gets soft. So you're leaving your Irish potato inside. Now you cover the pot and let it boil. Come back a few minutes later, check for your Irish potato when it's soft, just like I'm doing right now. I'm checking for my Irish potato. It's actually very soft now. What the Irish potato does is it also helps to thicken your filling. It helps to thicken your filling, and it helps to thicken your filling, and of course that's basically what it's doing for you. So now that your Irish potato is soft, you're adding your veggies. You don't want your veggies to be overcooked, right? So you add your veggies last, and that's it. Your filling is ready. Then the last thing you're adding is your flour. Remember, we had a little flour in the setting. So what you're doing to your flour is you're not needing so much. Just 1 spoon of flour is enough. Add water, turn it to a paste, and add it to your filling. What it does is it helps your filling to stick together. It gives it a sticky filling. It helps your filling to stick together and gives it a sticky filling, which is what you want. So that's what the flour does for your filling, and that's basically it. Your meat pie filling is ready. You leave it to cool down. So this is it. Our filling is ready. We are just going to leave it to cool down, and now we are going to make the dough. I was actually making this in the middle of the night because I can't do anything serious when my boys are awake. So I usually make my meat pies in the middle of the night when they are sleeping, especially because I was filming, so I had to wait the middle of the night. So I actually made this overnight. I left it overnight. I'll be making the dough the next morning. So guys, the next day yeah, so to make our meat pie dough, we need flour, obviously. So normally I make up to 15-20 pies because it lasts us for a week and a few days. So I use 5 cups of flour. So this cup I'm using is, according to baking measurement, is 1 cup. So I'm going to be using 5. Like I said, I normally don't use measurement, but I tried this time so that if you're making it for the first time, you can have an idea of what to use. So I'm literally using 5 cups. That's me showing you. That's 5 cups of flour in my plate. So for 5 cups of flour, I'm going to be using 1 tablespoon of baking powder. So for your flour, you need, for your meat pie dough, you need flour, you need baking powder. So I just use 1 tablespoon and a little extra of baking powder. You also need butter. That's margarine. So that's what I'll be adding now to my flour. I need margarine. Like I said, I know they measure. I usually don't measure. I just use my eye because you cook now. So I'll also be adding milk, but I'll show you what I'm doing. So this is powder milk. I use any milk that I have at home. This is actually powder milk. I'm just adding water to it to make it liquid. So I'm just going to be mixing my butter into my flour. Now, how do you know that your butter is enough? This butter, mix until you have like a bread crust. What do I mean? So I noticed that the butter was not enough, so I'm adding a little extra. You mix until your dough, you see how it's looking like bread crust, you know? That's how you know your butter is enough. So mix until you have a bread crust. Then I use the milk as my water. So you want to make sure that your meat pie dough is not so soft. You want to make sure that your meat pie dough is not so soft. So you're not just going to add all the milk or all the water. Milk is actually optional. Let me not forget to mention that. Milk is optional. You can actually make your dough without milk. You can use water instead of milk. So you don't want to pour all the liquid you're using at once. You want to be adding them little by little because you don't want your dough to be too soft. So you go according, you know, you knead it a bit and you add liquid. Yeah, so you're just going to be kneading and adding liquid. Like I said, you don't want your meat pie dough to be too soft. So you don't want, you don't want your meat pie dough to be too soft because you're going to be leaving it for a while. And while you leave it for a while, it's going to be softer. So it's going to loosen up and be softer. That's why you don't want your meat pie dough to be too soft. And you don't want to knead it too much so it doesn't become very, very weak. So basically knead until the bowl or whatever you're using is clean. You can see how it looks right now. So I'm going to cover it up and toss it into the fridge for 15 to 30 minutes. Remember that your dough has to be not so hard, not so soft, you know, not so hard, not so soft. So I'm tossing it into the fridge for like 15 to 30 minutes. I actually left it for 30 minutes. So I'm greasing the pans I want to use. I normally use foil pans. I normally use foil pans. So I'm just greasing the pans with my butter, and that is it, while I wait for 15 minutes for my dough to relax up and get ready. So I'm breaking up egg. You're going to find out what I'll use this egg to do in the process as I go on. So my dough is ready. Let's see how it looks. So you see it's a lot softer now. You can see it, right? It's a lot softer now. Yeah, so you have to leave your dough to relax. Once you have finished mixing it, you have to leave your dough for a few minutes. Some people even leave it overnight for it to relax so you can get the best out of your dough. Yeah, so we are ready. What I do is I cut them up into smaller pieces so it's easy for me to just pick a pieces and work on. But this is actually not also compulsory. You can go with the flow according to how you like it. But so I just like to cut it up so I have an idea of how many meat pies I'm going to be having. Normally I have a view of 15 to 20 meat pies. This time I think this dough gave me about 15. This dough gave me about 16 to 17 pieces of meat pie. Yeah, so cutting up everything now, and what you're going to do is, my baby is at the background, guys. So what you're going to do is you're going to use your roller to, now let me not forget, you need a round object that you can use to cut. There's actually something called meat pie cutter you can buy on Amazon, but if you don't have, I used to have that back in Nigeria, but though I never used it. So but here I never bothered to buy. So I use any round object, just like you see me demonstrating. Cut it up. Now remember our filling, right? Our filling is cold, and it was actually the next day, so it was really cold. So add into your cut out dough. You're going to use your egg to, I almost forgot here. So you need a brush, use it to seal it up. You need your egg white to seal it up. Actually, you need just your egg white, not the yolk, but I was lazy to take out the yolk, so I just left everything like that. It still doesn't cause any harm. So seal it up and use your fork to, as we do it in a Niger style. So but when you get a meat pie cutter, it actually helps you to seal it. Yeah, so you just use your fork to seal it up, and it gives you, that meat pie edge looks. But if you're using the cutter from Amazon, you don't need to go through this process. It just helps you cut it out and gives you that edge, and you're good to go. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing until I'm done with all of my doughs. I'm doing everything, and I'm adding them to the pan. Then once my pan is almost full, what I want to do is put on my oven. Once my pan is almost full, I put on my oven for like 10 to 20 minutes before, so that my oven will be hot and ready. Put on my oven at 350 and let the oven be ready, and so that once my pan is full, I just toss my meat pie into the oven. So basically, the truth is I was doing this in the middle of the night. So while my meat pie was in the oven, I kind of dozed off. And so my meat pie became browner than I wanted. But the good thing is it's for my family, right? So it's not for any special occasion. But if it's a special occasion, I like to make sure that everything is just perfect. But now, body no be firewood. I dozed off in the process, so my meat pie came out a little bit browner. Nothing bad, but just a little bit browner. Some persons actually like their meat pie like that, a little bit browner, but I actually like my meat pie in the, like plain, without it looking brown like brown. So I'm still here, basically getting all, just going through the same process, adding to. So now my pan is full. I'm just going to use my fork to just add like a little design on it, so that air can easily get out. Now, one tip I want to tell you is when you are putting your meat pie in your pan, make sure they are not close to each other. Make sure they are not closely close to each other. Now, a mistake has happened to me so many times. When my meat pie are close to each other, sometimes they stick together, and so just try to give your meat pie a little bit of space. You're going to see it when I bring it out. When it's done, you're going to see that it's stuck to each other, and so you see what I'm talking about, because they were stuck to each other. So try to make sure that your meat pie, you see the last row, how separated they are looking. So guys, our meat pie is ready. Like I told you, it went a little bit browner, but nothing bad. It came out good, it came out nice. So let me know if this video was helpful. Let me know if you are going to be trying out making your own meat pie. Thank you so much. I love you. Thanks for always coming back.